Good evening and welcome to our latest instalment on Midweek Millers. I'm your host, as always, Mr. David Besley, and another good start. We've got the wrong intro, so if you are expecting a Rotherham podcast, you are in the right place. Don't worry. Been a bit of a mad one today, hasn't it, Lee, with us trying to record a video here, a video there, but I'm sure we'll get used to it eventually. As always, as always, lots to discuss. We've got obviously the Mansfield game to review on Tuesday, a very dull 0-0 draw, which weren't great. Another Yorkshire derby on Saturday against the mighty Terriers in Huddersfield Town. And as always, we will discuss your comments and questions. First of all, let's introduce tonight's guest. So I'll start with Mr. Lee Bush, who is above me there. Look, Lee, you all right, matey? How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a hectic one with doing more content today, so bit unprepared tonight, I would say.
But this is what the fans want, and we've tried our hardest, aren't we, Lee, to get as many things out there for yourselves. And also to my right hand side over there somewhere is Pete. You all right, Pete?
Yeah, all good, Bez, mate. All good.
Nice looking shirt. That what shirt is it?
Roma.
Yeah, very nice.
It's my Italian team, pal. That.
Right. The logo don't look like Roma though. The logo don't. Okay. But it does look nice anyway.
It's old school one, mate. Old school.
Right. Does look nice. I am hoping as well that we will have a fourth member joining us a bit later on. I think he's having some technical issues at the minute, so hopefully he'll join in due course. Just a few comments. So you've got our very own Tom Brown, who posted earlier on. Have a great show, gentlemen. Feels strange I'm not involved tonight. We'll be watching and commenting, though. And just, Tom, if you are watching, you are welcome to join. Because obviously we've only got 3 of us. So if you put yourself into the lounge, I'm sure Lee will add you, okay? Kaylee Wilson, do you think Nombe will score? Kaylee, you know what? At the minute, he doesn't look like scoring at all. Something we will discuss, though, as we get onto the Mansfield game. Russ, evening, boys. Let's go. Evening, Russ. Hope you're all right. Big Dog, I had him. Never seen Bez as upset as I did at half-time Tuesday. Yeah, I was at half-time, and I didn't want to speak to anyone, or I was just really angry, as you know, Adam. And let's start with Tuesday. So, it did finish Rotherham United 0, Mansfield Town 0. The one positive, we have kept up a clean sheet, and it is another point gained. The positives do end there, though. Let's face it, that performance, the first half in particular, was absolutely horrendous. I believe that first half was the worst I have ever seen a Rotherham United performance perform. That is the worst I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because that's now and we're in this moment. I genuinely believe that is the worst performance I've ever seen. Some of Rotherham's better players who did well on the Saturday. Nombe did okay. Martin did okay on Saturday. What more? These players just look so they just look shattered. Look like they weren't fit on Tuesday. So I'm not really sure how he can go from a good performance and a decent result to that performance on Tuesday. Lee, we'll start with yourself. I've not listened to the full after-match live reaction on Tuesday yet, so I'm not totally sure on your thoughts. So if you want to just quickly sum up what you saw and, what your thoughts were, basically.
What I saw is what I've seen all season. A manager completely void of ideas, out of his depth, a team that is unfit, breaking down because players are being rushed back too soon, playing with injections, and it all comes tumbling down like a pack of cards. The manager should have gone months ago. Any other club, he's sacked. we've got this Muppet in Phil, whatever he's called, Phil Smith, Phil Jones, whatever you want to call him, that has kept him in a job, in my view. The club should have been looking for a new manager months ago. You can't lose back-to-back games against Burton and Doncaster and keep your job. We're heading towards League Two without any breaks because we've got no manager. The manager is absolutely insane. If I'm the Manchester United loanee, I'm telling him to do one. I ain't sitting on the bench for a team that can't score goals, second bottom of League Two, and he plays the same players every week up front that aren't scoring. So for me, I'd say, listen, Man United, I don't want to come back because I've not been given a chance. All this crap that people come out that he develops young players, he's crap. Come on, he's developed nobody. Nobody's got any better under him. Players have got worse, and the performances are getting worse. We have one good game against Plymouth, and everybody's going on like we've not been out. When was the last time we were out of the bottom four? We haven't been out of it for flipping ages. This guy ain't taking us out of it. We had a get out of jail card playing the likes of Northampton, all these teams at home. We only managed to beat them. We drew with one of the other teams. We lost to Doncaster. We lost to Burton. Another chance presented to us. Another team struggling. We don't manage to beat them in Mansfield. They're on an horrendous run of form. They've got a game at the weekend that they were concentrating on. We still can't beat them at home. 2 shots on target the whole game. Or was it 3? Joke. And we've still got idiots saying it's a rebuild. He ain't rebuilding anything because half of them are out of contract to end the season and half of them are injured. Drew Yearwood out for the season again. I broke that today. Didn't mention it in the press conference though, did I? Davis didn't mention it. Come to the daddy. He tells you everything.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think you're right, Lee, to kind of talk about the Man U kid, Brian Carey, because, this lad or Manchester United have supposedly rejected an offer of a permanent move to a big European team. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what the press have kind of touted. And therefore, we get him on loan. And I don't mind that he's actually starting as sub because he's got to work himself into the team. He has to. You can't just expect to start. But how do you expect to improve when you come on after 87 minutes? I turned around actually on Tuesday about 75 and I said to my mate, if he brings on that Man U lad at 87 minutes, I'm going to walk out. And he did. I didn't walk out, but he did do that. So he is treating that lad like a pile of rubbish, and I completely agree with you. If I'm Man U, I'm getting on phone saying, what the hell is going on here with regards to this player, because it's killing his development.
Just a quick one. You said he can't go straight into the team, but Gray did.
Well, okay, he can, but what I meant was he can't expect just to go straight into the team. I know Gray did, but even Gray, if Gray had started on bench, I'd have been, that's fine, he's going to start on bench. What I was trying to say was that he needs to give it a chance to be able to start. And I feel like he's not at the minute.
Even the time he's given is not enough. He needs
the
perfect opportunity to give him some time. Came at half time when he took Watmore off. He should have took him off then.
Agreed.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
He went more defensive again. He brought McWilliams on and then he brought another defender on. The guy's a plant.
Yeah, can't disagree. P, so again, just I'm assuming you probably agree with a lot of what Lee said there. What were your thoughts on the game? I mean, rather than just giving all the negatives, do you see any positives at all in the game?
Well, I didn't see it first half because obviously at work, so I watched second half on my break. And it's not getting any better, is it? Let's be right. like you said, Biancheri. For me, I'd probably drop Nombe Saturday and give Biancheri a go because Nombe's played every minute of every game so far, hasn't he? Same with Gray. They're not really the rest. So I'd start with him, mate. Give him a go. Not all to lose, have we? Like you said, we play one good game every 9-10 games, don't we?
Yeah,
basically.
And
so
just one question I've got of yourself, Pete. Right, is you were an advocate yourself, weren't you, of not wanting to play free at back, changing formation, and to fair to answer, he has changed formation. But do you think anything's improved?
Not really, no. A better manager improves it with formation change. That's experience for him, innit? He ain't got none. He ain't got no managerial class, has he? Let's be right. You put a decent manager in there with different formation, that team would be top 10 easy for me.
Yeah,
but I think obviously with these injuries now, it's all gonna get worse. We'll probably get another injury Saturday at Huddersfield. So I think that's us down, mate. Honestly, I do.
Wow, you think there's no hope at all? Even if Amshaw got sacked on Monday, you think there's no hope?
It's too late, Bez, now. They've had the chance. Wow. It should have gone in January before window.
I agree.
They've had the chance.
Left it too late. I think they've left it too late now.
Now they'll be hoping
I'm at a point
that
where
he does
I don't
it.
care if they sack him now.
Yeah.
The club the club actually deserve to go to League Two.
They've messed up big time.
I can't disagree with that, but what I would say is it's only 3 points getting out of it. So surely a new manager can come in and change things, could he not?
Look at his games though, Bez.
I get that. I do get that. But when Neil Warnock came in, we did beat a few teams like Middlesbrough. At home. I can't remember else who won, to be fair, but I know we beat Middlesbrough. Jamie Holmes. So evening, Jamie. Hope you're all right. He can go straight into the team. What are our strategies at the minute to keep their places? Why not try something different? And Jamie, I'm going to come on to Nombe now, actually. I did want to talk about Sam. Because, let's face it, a lot of Rotherham fans, probably a couple on here as well, did say, as soon as Sam Nombe's back, we'll start scoring goals. Now, to be fair to Sam Nombe, before we all kind of pile into him, he's still got that, as League says it, is graveyard shift. He's still up front on his own. And Gray, who's been brought in to help him, has been playing left wing. Again, it's something that I really despise. I think he should be up front. And sometimes when Gray is left wing, I think he like he did on Tuesday, he goes missing. So he should be up front. But Lee, Sam Nombe, why is he not working? Why is he seemingly not putting the effort in? Because that's what it seems like to me. It seems like he's not putting effort in. Now, he might not be fit, to be fair, but what are you seeing Sam Nombe doing, and why do you think he's not? Why is he not working with Nombe up front, do you think?
I think he's fed up. We've all been there. We've all been in jobs before where the leadership that's running it is not, it's not working. You know that you haven't got faith in them taking you where you want to go, as a business or whatever it is. I think he's just lost faith in Matt Amshaw's tactics. I see him arguing with players on the pitch because it's a graveyard shift. And people laughed at me, say, oh, no, it's because of the injuries. If we got Sam Nombe, he'd score. I said, we won't score. We could get Haaland up front and we won't score. We've proven it. Harry Gray's way too good for this level. He's not scoring every week, is he? Because he's not giving the service. When you look at the goals that Nombe scored and what Gray scored, nobody's put them on a plate for him. They're individual bits of brilliance. They beat a man, take a shot from outside of the box and score.
I want you, Lee, to answer that question. You know what I do at the bottom? Just put that comment up, please. So Nombe is putting 100% effort in. It's the long balls all the time. What's your response to that, Lee?
I think he's kind of... I wouldn't say he's not putting 100% effort in. I just think the tactics and the long ball, what we're playing, because you're playing long balls to him, he's getting no service. I think he's frustrated. I don't think he don't put effort in, because I reckon if you check his stats, he's probably run as much as everybody else. He does still try to press. He does do it, but I feel sometimes where he's thinking, what's the actual point of this? Like, I'm not getting any service. I'm not enjoying my football. You can tell he's not enjoying his football under Matt Amshaw. It's not an attacking, progressive style of play, and it doesn't endear itself to good forward-thinking players. And that's the problem. Without Benson, there's no creativity whatsoever. Nobody else can create anything. Dan Gore, as good as he is, he don't really create. He's more of a holding midfielder that breaks the play up and bursts forward. But if he wants to be truly elite level, he's got to get what Benson's got in his locker, that killer pass, because we're missing it when he's not there. But as a team, we don't. You should create from the back. We don't create anything. And while ever that happens, players are going to look worse than they actually are. And I think we'll never know now, but we'd have seen players like Gray, Nombe, Gore, Benson actually come alive with a progressive manager. It'd be such a joy to watch. But people and the club are so stubborn, they don't want to see it. So that's why I said we deserve to go down, because this football, let's be honest, if we were losing games and we're thinking we're in the games, we're only losing by this, or we're not playing too bad, but the performances are shit as well. That's why the stadium's half empty. It's not enjoyable. It's not entertaining. Even if we were winning every week, this football is shit. Yeah, you're just masking it with a victory. But the football is absolute puerile, and it's the entertainment business, and people don't want to turn up. You've got your happy clappers now. That's why you don't hear many boos. You don't hear, because they are used to it. Yeah, they probably. I'm not being disrespectful to people, but probably half of them live in a council house. They've got no ambition to do anything further, and that's their mentality. And they think Rotherham United should all be the same like that. We've got no ambition, we've got no tactics, and we've got a manager taking us to League Two.
Okay. Now,
sorry, Bez.
Go on.
Adam's comment. If you watched after Bradford game, I think you went to the game, didn't you?
Do you want to put the Benson played well for 2 games comment, Lee, please?
Yeah, obviously the Nombe one, 100%. After Bradford game, when we lost, it zoomed into Nombe on iPlayer. He was so pissed off, it was unreal. And Amshaw come over and he was like,
he was ignoring
him. Amshaw.
Yeah, he was pissed off with Amshaw. You could tell.
Yeah, that's it.
So
he's had enough.
So I'll ask. I've got a question for yourself, Lee, actually, as well. But I'll come to you first, MP. So I have asked you this question 3 or 4 times over the last 6 months, and I know it's hard to answer, right? So why the hell is this football manager still managing the club? Like, what is the chairman, or what's Phil Smith, or what's the director of football, or what's Rob Scott, whatever? Why do they still believe that Matt Amshaw is the very manager? Like, what is it?
I don't know. Obviously,
what could it be?
If he manages to keep us up, they're just going to turn around. We told you so, aren't they? That's what they're hoping for. We told you so.
Okay.
Well,
that's what they're hoping for, isn't it?
Relegation battle.
No, exactly. We shouldn't be.
Realistically, like I said the other week, if we won every game now and finished 16th, it's a bad season. Yeah. A shocking season. The football is shit. Even if we're winning games,
I'm gonna come back to yourself, Lee, because and this, I don't necessarily believe this, by the way, but I've had this argument being on your side with a couple of my mates in the pub, right? So you believe, and we all believe, that the quality of this squad is good enough for at least top 4. I think I think you actually believe, Lee, that it's good enough for top 6. Okay. Now, if the quality of the squad, right, is good enough for top 6, right, and you can clearly see that there's not a lot of respect for the manager by the players, i.e. non-based pulling faces and Benson pulls faces and etc. So why, as a football player, don't they go out on the pitch and ignore anything that Amshaw says and play their own way and therefore get a win? Now, the reason I've asked yes, because I get asked that all the time, and it's hard to answer. So what's your answer to that?
Because they are professional football players. They have to follow the code of conduct of the club. So if the manager sets out those tactics, they have to go out and execute that game plan. Yeah, you can't just go running around gung ho because he'll just pull you off. Yeah, and you'll probably get a club fine because you've got to play the system that the manager plays, and you've got to play the tactics he plays. There will be moments of times where they go a little bit gung-ho. And he's actually said it because he said in an interview, the players aren't listening to him. They tried to do it and he's called them out. He's called the players out to say they're going to be the ones that he's going to put it on if the players start trying to do their own thing. So they just can't do it. They're professional footballers. This ain't playing down the pub with your mates. Oh, stuff that manager, I don't like him. This is a professional game. They've got to follow the game plan. And people use this argument all the time. And they'll also use the argument of injuries. Whose fault is the injuries?
It's not the football club. We don't really know.
No. You do really know because I've been badgering on about it. So there's no shock that Spencer's out because I told you 2 months before he's injured, he's been playing with injections in his knees. Yeah, I told people 2 months before that. Yeah, James has been playing with broken ribs. We had Hugo playing with a broken nose. Yeah, we've had players that have been out for months and months come straight back into the team. Dan Gore's been out. He's come straight. He come on as sub, then he's played a full 90 minutes. Same happened with Jules. Jules was injured, played, come on as a sub, then he played the full 90 minutes, gone off injured again. Beginning of the season, Yearwood failed a medical. Yeah? He failed a medical. We gave him a contract. So you can't go in the press and say, injuries. You fucking caused them, you muppet. Yeah? You're the man that's caused the injuries. You're poor Mr. Motivator running 15 miles round Romarsh every Sunday morning. He's done it. He's not designed for football, yeah? And also, not just the manager, the club, because we know that they're underfunded in the area of the medical team. But the media are lying about it. The media are lying. So they're saying now that Denzel Hall is back at the club training. He's fucking not. It's a lie. It's a goddamn lie. He's not at Roundwood. He's not doing his recovery at Roundwood. He hasn't been at the club for weeks.
Let me just turn this. Let me ask you a different question, right? Again, it's something we were discussing after the game on Tuesday. Let's say Rotherham lose to Huddersfield, and let's say Hamshaw does get sacked. Do you think 24 hours after Hamshaw's sacked that some Rotherham United players will all of a sudden be fit?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to know if you thought that.
But
right.
I will say as well, just getting a new manager now, it's kind of too late. But if they get the right manager, they've got to. It can't be. Oh, we sack Hamshaw and then we have Richard Wood in charge.
No, there's no point. Yeah. One thing I would say, because if the manager does get sacked, there's been a lot of time since when the fans wanted him sacked and him actually getting sacked. I genuinely believe that the football club will have a list of managers who they already know they want. I believe that anyway. So if you were sacked on Monday, I think that there'll be a new manager in by Wednesday. Right, let's go through some comments then. So Ian Besley, if we get rid of the manager now, who would come to a side guaranteed relegation and put that on their CV? Any chance of a reasonable manager to Rotherham comes in the summer with a chance of starting with a promotion. Now, I'm going to ask you this, P. So it's obviously my dad. What he's saying is if a manager does come in now, there is a massive risk that that manager does get a relegation on his CV. However, if the manager's patient and waits until we're already relegated or waits till next season, then he could take this football club up from League Two. So do you kind of agree that, maybe it is hard now to get a new manager in? 2 months ago it weren't, but now it is. Or do you disagree with that?
It's getting a bit too late now, isn't it? Obviously, if we do sack another player, Gate Richard would end that season. But if we are in League Two and somebody comes in, it's a big job, innit? So we'll probably get loads of names coming in League Two. We'll probably get a decent manager in League Two because they know we're one of the biggest teams in that league, aren't we? So there'll be managers throwing their sends at job. So I think if we go down, I think decent managers, so we might have to go down, just to get somebody in. I know it's bad saying it, innit? But like you said, we're playing it with Richard Wunter in that season, if I'm sure, goes.
Okay.
And no point, is there?
No. Okay. Moving on then. You want to move to Russ's comment, please, Lee? So, Russ, final third, Achilles heel. It's no good saying we've got the strikers, but have we? Second bottom, a lack of firepower. Table doesn't lie. What is it, lads? Lack of service. Strikers not good enough. Come on, you tell me. Is it me? Great future, but kid from Man U got 2 year on great. Only thing I can think of is Leeds say he only comes if you start. As opposed to Man U, they've not said that, basically. Man U are not giving us ultimatum, that's why he's not playing. So, Lee, we've kind of already discussed this a little bit. So, what Russ is saying is, first of all, we believe that the quality is good enough. Is it really? That's the first part of that question. And the second part is, which, again, I know we've already touched on, maybe he's right, Russ, in the fact that the Man U loanee, maybe Man U can see that this kid isn't going to get near their side, so they're not as interested in playing, and that's why he's not. So what's your thoughts on those two things, Lee?
Well, I just want to answer the thing about the manager as well quickly. I disagree that we get a better manager in League Two.
Okay.
Totally disagree on that. I think any good manager, manager is a merry-go-round. Most of them have got relegations on the CVs anyway. I don't think that's a big problem when you go to the bank and you get offered decent money to manage a club, and if you keep them up, you stock rises. If we pay the money, the manager comes. It's as simple as that. You look at Nottingham Forest, look at the mess they're in, but they can attract any manager they want because they're getting paid the moolah. Pay them the moolah, they come. End of story. Gary Rowett, he only didn't come because we wouldn't pay him that. Because he went to Oxford, who were a smaller club than us, but they paid him more money. That's the difference, yeah? So it doesn't matter whether we're in League Two or League One, it's whether we're going to pay him the money. If we don't pay him the money, we don't get a decent manager. They've got to pay the money. Tony Stewart won't do it. Phil Smith, don't know what he's about. Think he's a bit of a free rider as well, if I'm honest, but I'll reserve judgment on him. But on that, that's what I would say on that. Regarding the striker situation, of course we've got the quality. So we'll start with the strikers from the top, yeah? So Jordan Hugill played his whole career in the Championship. All of a sudden, he's not good enough for League One. Can't score a goal. But we had Tom Eaves who couldn't score a goal for us, but goes to Northampton, bags for fun. It's a joke, yeah? We don't have any service. You look at Sam Nombe, he's scored goals in this division for Exeter. He's scored in the Championship. We've got top-end clubs looking at him. Of course he's good enough. We're just not giving him the service. Harry Gray, he's scored for his country. He's scored for the youths. He has been told that he's guaranteed games because he told you on his interview that he would come in here to play games. The Manchester United lad, Manchester United, you think you don't care about his development? They turned £2 million down for him from Roma. So they are bothered about him. I think they paid nearly that for him from Cardiff. Cardiff fans wanted him back for them. They were on our podcast saying he's a fantastic player. Don't know how he's come to us. Cardiff were interested in him on deadline day, yet we haven't played him any minutes. We can't even judge him if he's any good because we haven't seen him. So for me, it's down to service and it's down to Matt Hamshaw's shit style of football. End of story. Don't blame the players. Do not blame the players, blame him.
let me ask you this question then, right, Lee? Because we all know, we all agree on this podcast that Matt Amshaw is not a good enough manager to manage Rotherham United. Yeah, we all agree that.
He's
right?
not good enough to manage Maltby Main.
No, right. But from what you were saying there, though, right, I think you're almost saying that it's not Amshaw not being good enough. It's like Matt Amshaw's almost wanting the club to lose. Because, like, why, if you've got this wonder kid on your bench, right, why would you bring him on every game for 3 minutes? Like, what's the reason? You know, he can't be sat there thinking, I tell you what, I want to ruin this kid's career, so I'm going to wait and wait.
Why? You know why? Because he is a player that is all about the top end of the pitch. Matt Amshaw doesn't want to know about the top end of the pitch. Matt Amshaw wants us just to be hard to beat, very negative, very, very... If we go 1-up, we start defending straight away. Rather than a Rotherham United team, we go for the jugular, we go for the second, we go for the third. This Rotherham United team doesn't. Yeah, we go 1-up. It's probably the worst thing that can happen to you because you know what's going to happen. We're going to sit back. And we did that against Plymouth. And nearly realistically, everyone's going on about that performance. It wasn't great. There were so many times we could have given that lead away due to his tactics again. And I think the players are outperforming the manager at times and making him not lose his job because they've saved his job a couple of times. But realistically, his job shouldn't be saved when we're sat here now and we're second bottom, still third bottom. And his positive was we've got 4 points in the last 2 games. That's what he said on his interview. An absolute weapon. And that's the mentality. And I think the mentality of Matt Amshaw has rubbed off on the players. Because I heard Powell on the interview and he was very negative of, we just need to nick a couple of 1-0s in our position and this, that. And that comes from the manager. I think it's rubbed off on the players and that's why they've got no confidence because he hasn't installed any confidence into them players. It's on the manager. This relegation is on the club, on the board, and on the manager. The players, for me, are good enough.
Okay. Just load that Tom Brown message, please. If this is one for you, Pete, because I know you've kind of mentioned this before. So Tom's there saying Phil Smith is complicit in this. Should have kept his mouth shut. Now, I'll be honest. I find it hard to believe that we, as a football club, haven't sacked our manager purely because Phil Smith said he was doing a good job. Now, to me, it just seems impossible to believe. What are your thoughts on it? Does what Phil Smith say, does it really affect the club's decision to sack the manager?
I don't know Phil Smith. So, obviously, when he come out and said Matt Amshaw's a great coach, is this, is that, he gets Premier League youngsters. Obviously, not club aren't going to turn around next week and then sack him either. They're going to keep backing him because obviously he made that comment. That's what I reckon anyway. Like Tom's just said, that's what I think, Bez. He shouldn't have said anything. He should just not open his mouth.
I agree. He should
He might be gone now. I'm sure might have been gone.
Yeah, and the thing is, it does wind me up when people say that this Phil Smith is like media savvy, because you're completely right. He shouldn't have said anything. He should have just said, we've got Matt Amshaw. Maybe just say he's doing an okay job and that's it, but not go into detail and say he's doing an excellent job. That was ridiculous. IFC Tiny next, Lee. iPad's dead. Okay, no worries, Tiny, mate. John Fellows, I can't believe the club are prioritising Hamshaw's position over being relegated in the Centenary. Awful football, angry fans, empty seats don't seem to mean anything. And John, your comment there is completely correct. Don't disagree with anything you're saying, and that is exactly how I feel as well, to be honest with you. It does feel like the club have given up, and that's why it's hard for me or Pete or whoever to go to the game. Danny, evening lads, very deflating feeling going into this one. Build up to Mansfield was the opposite, optimism and hope, but same old story. Management subs and game tactical decisions were so poor. More injuries. Can't see anything other than a loss. Right, let's move into this field. So, as you all know, Rotherham are away to Huddersfield Town on Saturday. A 12:30 kickoff on Sky Sports. So, if you're going, don't forget to set off early and make sure you get a few pints in because you can't watch that rubbish sober. Huddersfield Town, so new manager. I've been there about 4 or 5 weeks. Liam Manning, he's had an okay start, but not the best. They're currently 7th in the league, so they have actually dropped out of the playoffs now, but they are only 1 point from the playoffs. So I still expect them to get in it come end of the season. They've scored 55 goals, which is the 3rd best in the league. So obviously a team who do score goals. They've conceded 46, which is like joint 12th, so mid-table. So I'd have thought that they will definitely score on Saturday if they do score goals. Their last 5 games, though, the form's not great. They've only won 1, they've drawn 1, and they've lost 3. Now, I did say it on, I think I said it on my post-match review on Tuesday. I watched the Football League show this week. I don't usually watch it, but because Rotherham won, I watched it. And I watched the highlights of the Wigan Huddersfield game. And honestly, Huddersfield absolutely hammered Wigan, just couldn't score, lost 1-0, which is interesting because I've just said that they do score goals. I'm hoping that happens to Rotherham. They can hammer Rotherham, not score, and we somehow grab a 0-0 or a lucky 1-0 win. That's my only hope. Interestingly, their top goal scorer is a lad who is no longer there. He's called Leo Castledine, and he went back to his parent club, and I think they sold him to a championship club. They've also got, obviously, as fans know, Joe Taylor, who is out on loan at Wigan. He is also a joint top scorer. So if he was going for Huddersfield, he's got 10. Huddersfield's top scorer is 10. So I have to say, very surprising that he's gone out on loan. I'm going to start with yourself, Pete, on this one. So Rotherham away Huddersfield. Huddersfield, obviously, have got one of the better squads in the division. What are your thoughts? Any chance we can go there and maybe luckily grab a point?
No. I think we'll get absolutely hammered, me. We never do well at Huddersfield, do we? And I think I've just got a funny feeling we'll lose 4-0. And I think this will be a final nail in coffin me for I'm sure. I think it'll be gone after Saturday. I've just got a feeling.
You saying that would obviously normally bring music to my ears, but I think you've said that for the last 5 weeks in a row. Still here, I'm sure. Lee, so I'm assuming you half agree with Pete in terms of Rotherham losing. Do you agree that this could be the final nail in Amshaw's coffin or not?
I honestly don't care anymore. I'm not really bothered. We're going to get battered. We'll lose 3-0. They've got, Ryan Hardy is up front for them. Fuck it, he'll tear us a new arsehole. Can't see anything other than us getting absolutely spanked. They've got a better manager. I think player for player, slightly probably better than us, but I wouldn't say a million times better than us. But they will be on Saturday because they'll be set up better than us. And I think we'll lose 3-0. Ask me if you think Matt Amshaw goes. I don't care at this point. It's too late. They've left it too late. The club has been an absolute embarrassment. And in our centenary year, you're going to get a relegation. And then after that relegation party, you can have a Legends game.
Yeah. I have to say, it is not the great time, but can't be said. So currently, Rotherham have got around 6,500 season ticket holders. When Rotherham do go down, Lee, how many people do you think will buy a season ticket next year?
Probably about 5,500, maybe.
Do you still think it'll be a high number then?
I don't know.
I still think because when you see people, they're not bothered. They're not bothered about the football on the pitch. They want to go week in, week out and happy clap. So some of them will just say that is being a supporter, is going when the times are bad, going when the times are good. And some people see it that way. Some people see it as an entertainment business. You're not being entertained, so you don't go. But some people are very loyal. And I think we have got a core of loyal supporters that will go regardless whether we win, lose or draw. And you can't slag them off for doing that, because that's what they want to do. Who am I to tell them how to spend their money and what they do on a Saturday afternoon? It's not for me to tell them to do it. But for me, I think football's an entertainment business. And if you're not being entertained, I personally wouldn't want to watch my am show, and I won't go again while he's the manager. And that's what I've stuck to. I won't be going. I'll still purchase the game though, so money still goes to the club. So I'm still supporting the team, and that's it. I'll just continue to do that. But I'm not getting wound up about it anymore. This football club has destroyed me this season. It's really got me down mentally, and I'm just fed up with it. I couldn't care less about the manager. I couldn't care less about the ownership. I couldn't care less if we go up, if we go down. I don't care anymore. I'm at that point where they've taken every bit of enjoyment out of the game for me. It's gone. And I think there's many fans feeling like that way. You see the attendance. There's people that have got tickets and not turning up. We've got people on here that have got season tickets that are leaving 30 minutes into games. Yourself, Bez, you go everywhere, and you've said to me on a personal thing, I can't get motivated to go. And that's sad. But the thing is, you've still got to support your team. I'm still going to pay for the game against Huddersfield, although I'm not going to go. I'm still going to do that because I support Rotherham United, whether we play in the Premier League or we play in League Two. We've still got to support the team, but it's just very disappointing that the board have allowed this to continue in our centenary year, and what our centenary year will end up being remembered for is a relegation. And it's sad. I'm more sad now than anything. I was angry before. I'm not angry anymore. I've come to terms with the fact that we've got Matt Amshaw, and as football is going to be dreadful, I do know one day he will be gone because his football suggests that. Football's a results-driven game. You don't get results. Football's an entertainment game. He doesn't entertain you. He's not good at press conferences. I don't even want to listen. I mean, we get more views for our podcast than he gets for his post-match views. So that tells the club all they need to know. We're more entertaining than what he is.
Well, I can't listen to him. I try my hardest to listen to his interviews, but I put him on in 30 seconds is gone and I have to turn him off. Right, let's get back to some comments. So if you want to do Ian Besley, please, how can we be slagging off Amshaw when the Yorkshire Post named as manager of the team of the week this year? Do they even send someone to watch the garbage that we see week in, week out? And that was right, apparently. Rotherham did beat Plymouth, to be fair, and he did get the manager of the week, which God knows how, but he did. Any thoughts on that, Pete, or? To
be fair, Plymouth had a lot of players, aren't they? Even their fans, they're like, I'm reading a comment, they're same as us. Their players are just getting injured for no reason as well. So they want an inquiry what's going off in training. So they did a lot of players out. I think if they had a full fit squad, they'd have smashed us, mate. I think we just got lucky that game, to be honest. But team at week, did other teams lose that week, or just us who won?
I'll be honest, I can't remember. Well, obviously, I think Donny got hammered, didn't they? I think it was the same time that Barnsley though won 3-1. So yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you. Jordan, Stanifith, Lee. Tough game Saturday. Hopefully we don't go into it playing negative. but I really can't see us getting out. And Jordan, there's actually zero chance that the football club going into the game positively. They'll try and get a 0-0 draw out of it. That's what I'm sure tries to do quite a lot. Adam, when was last time we heard from TS? And yes, Adam, you're right. We've not heard from Tony Stewart for a number of years, which is not right. I think that's one of the reasons why this Phil Swift kind of did get employed to kind of bridge the gap. Obviously, when he did his interview, it was a little bit of a car crash, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Phil Swift, one of his jobs is to come in and try and bridge that gap between the fans and the club. And obviously, he's got a long way to go if that's something he wants to do. Romoff, hey, lads, I'm late. When will this tape end? 4,000 ticket holders. So, yeah, that'd be a drop of like 50% almost, Romoff, if that happens. And yeah, I hope you're wrong, but I can see it happening. Jordan, Huddersfield will dominate this Saturday. Hopefully the lads actually foot up a fight and not sit back and play negative. Again, Jordan, I'm afraid they will sit back and play negatively. And one thing I would say is Rotherham, in terms of results, they don't tend to get hammered, results-wise. Yes, Cardiff beat them 3-0, but Cardiff are far and away better than any team in this division, I'd say, at this point. They've lost one goal at Doncaster, one goal or whatever. So they don't tend to get hammered anyway, I'd say. Kelly Forval's he's fought in the middle of 60 years. I don't stop going because they have a bad season. And Kelly, that's great. And as Lee was saying, I think that is great. The problem is, I would say Rotherham have had more than one bad season. If you look at the last 5 years, if you look at the last 5 years, Rotherham United, over maybe 3 of those 5 years, it might be longer, more like 6 or 7, but 3 years out of the last 6 or 7, we've only picked up like 30, 35 points. So, when we're in the championship, we literally won something like 2 away games in 4 championship years or something like that. The only time we were successful away from home is when we had the season that was played behind closed doors because of COVID. So I do agree with you, but I'd argue we've had a lot more bad seasons than we have had good seasons recently. And it's not just about the season. It's more to do with the fact that the club don't seem to be trying. Why aren't they trying to get out of this relegation that they're facing? There's no way that this team should be going down. So all it takes is for the club to sack the manager and bring in the right manager, and this team will stop up. I'm telling you, Russ. No way on deserve anything from Huddersfield. 3 or 4-0, back to 0 attempts on target, and the usual. If the board don't care, then why should we? Brilliantly said, Bush. And yeah, that's what I've kind of said as well. If the club don't care, why should we? Kind of thing. Last time I played Huddersfield this season, obviously in that Papa John's Trophy or whatever it's called, I don't think we had a shot that day. So it's probably going to be a similar sort of game to that, unfortunately. I'd love to know how many tickets are sold for that game. Obviously, normally Rotherham would take 1,200, 1,500 with it being a local derby, but it won't surprise me if it's more like 500. Tom Brown, I will say the club are massively pushing the Legends game, which is fair enough. If the club were that second bottom, that's like a shit show. And yeah, Tom, you're right. I mean, they've got to push it, to be fair to him, but it does feel a little bit like they're almost ignoring the season and just focusing on this kind of this game. Now, we've already said on this channel, Kev Johnson does a brilliant job for the club, and he's doing a brilliant job in getting this game organised and getting Legends and what have you going. But I'm not being funny. The last thing I want to know when my team are getting relegated is the fact that Rotherham United Legends are having a friendly game. As Lee said, you don't really care. All you care about is the fact that Rotherham are going down and the football club aren't doing anything about it. Right. Huddersfield, so just quickly, Lee, what was your prediction? Did you say 4-0, Huddersfield?
3-0, 3-0 I've gone for. I can't see any sort of live
on Huddersfield, right? So Huddersfield Town, you'd argue, are underperforming this season. Let's focus on Huddersfield a little bit. You could argue they're underperforming. They've probably got one of the better squads in the league. And I'm not being funny, but it's absolute madness that Huddersfield Town have got a striker who's on loan at a club in the same division who's part of the top goal scorers in the league. How mad is that?
Yeah, crackers, but it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, yeah, he's crazy. I don't know what to say at the minute.
I'm trying to move the conversation away from just having a go at Rotherham onto Huddersfield, but you're right. Really, it's I know we're going to go into the Huddersfield game. We're not going to probably get anything out of it, so it's hard to discuss. I get that. Miller's mad. Be Rusty's and boys, don't worry. Vigami will take us somewhere. Don't know where, but somewhere. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just quickly talk about that. So. Let's try and move on to next season.
Song will take us somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah. Let's try and focus on next season then. So, the consensus of this podcast, so yourself, Pete, and yourself, Lee, is that the football club are down. It doesn't matter if you're not the manager, they're down. So next season, the first question would be, do you think Amshaw will still be here? That first game of the season. I'll ask you first, Pete. Will Amshaw still be here? And D, if he is here or he's not here, can you see Rotherham mount a promotion push next season in League Two?
I don't think he'll be here, mate. I think he'll be gone. And going on to next season, I think we'll smash League Two if we go down. That's my opinion.
Wow, you think that Rotherham will? Okay.
I think we'd be too good for that league if we get right players. Yeah. We couldn't attract better players than most teams in League Two, mate. So I think we'd have no trouble. But obviously, a lot of teams come down and don't go back up, do they? So I don't know. Who knows? We might struggle. We might go back down again. I don't know.
Well, one thing that could happen, and this has happened to clubs before, doesn't matter what league you go down to. Sometimes when you go down, you can have a bit of a reset, and it allows you to build momentum back up. So the thing with Rotherham is, if you've noticed, is that Rotherham actually don't spend a lot of time in League One. They tend to jump from League Two to the Championship, then to League Two, then to the Championship. So maybe a reset is actually what needed. Maybe we do need to get rid of manager. Maybe we do need to get rid of the board and Tony Stewart and Phil Smith and just restart. I'm trying to be as positive as I can be. Really.
Yeah, I think we'll have a new owner next year as well. Personally.
Right, okay. I mean, I'm looking at Lee there, and he's. I don't know. Are you all right there, Lee? It looks like you had some bad news, or are you just that upset?
No, listen. Listening to this is just stressing me out, right? We go to League Two, yeah, and we're saying we're one of the bigger teams. We used to say that when we come into League One.
Yeah.
The reset should be in League One, not in League Two. We should have reset when we came into this league. We don't want to, League Two isn't as easy as you think to get out of, even with money. You look at MK Dons, they've been struggling. You look at Chesterfield.
Bradford ages, yeah.
Bradford. There's these clubs that have been in there ages. It's not as easy as you think. And the football is terrible at that level. Do you want to pay and watch the football at that level? It's awful. No. Yeah. This is what the club have done to you all. The club have lowered your standards so much that you're actually thinking about League Two football and resetting in League Two. We can't allow it. We've got to stand up to these tyrants. We've got to stand up to these tyrants and say, you're not going to allow us club to go into League Two. And I honestly believe that if there is a new ownership, and it's that Phil Smith, he's a tight bastard, and he'll be happily players in League Two for the rest of his lives because he's just another Tony Stewart. He's not got enough money behind him to take us where we want to be. I don't care if the owner is oil me up, baby. I'll take the Qatari money. I'll take the Middle Eastern money all day of the week. I'll take the flipping Hollywood. I'll take any of them. Look at now. Everyone's like, oh, who's going to buy Rotherham? Fucking Dagenham and Redbridge. KSI's fucking just bought.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Listen, Get your standards out of the bin. We're Rotherham United. We're a top-end League One club. We should not be contemplating anything other than and accepting anything other than challenging the top ends of League One. The rest of it, I don't want to talk about. Don't. Yeah, I'll just cover my ears when you're talking about.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what we'll do, because you're right, Lee. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I was trying to turn it into a little bit of a positive. Obviously, I don't agree with it. Like, I'm like you. If Rotherham went down to League Two, there's a chance it could go down again. That's how I kind of see it. Right, what I'm going to say, we've only got a few minutes left, right? And I will read the comments out, but I'm going to ask you this, Lee, before we go, right? So me, you, and Pete, and Tiny, and Tom, we're 5 people on this podcast. There are 20,000, 25,000 Rotherham fans, right? So it doesn't really matter what we say, what we do, because we can't change anything, right? If it were up to you, Lee, right, what do you want, me, Pete, the 25,000 Rotherham fans, what do you want them to do? Like, I want you to kind of tell us what you want the fans to do in order to improve this situation at the football club. And I don't just mean this season, I mean going forward, because, it's a bad season, but it goes deeper than this season. You know that. So I want you to tell me step by step what you want the fans to realistically do.
What fans do most serious football clubs do when the ownership is so bad and the manager is so bad and they want them out? What do they do?
They'll protest.
That's what needs to happen. There needs major protests. People to stop buying the merchandise. People to stop buying this game, a charity game, or maybe the charity game is different because it's for a good cause, but everything else where the club gets the money, do not do it. Mass protests outside the club, outside the training facility until we get proper change, because if we don't, the future is not going to be very good. It's not. It's not getting better. And I just pray to God that this Phil Smith's not part of any sort of takeover, because listening to him, I've forgot more about football than that turkey teeth knows. He's not a football man. We've got no football man at the club. We need a football man, and we need the fans to unite and stick together and stop with this nonsense of he's from Rotherham, give him a chance, because it's nonsense, yeah. The whole coaching staff's from Rotherham. Where does it end? Next, it'll be we'll not sign any players unless they're from Rotherham. You know what I mean? It's getting silly.
You're right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every part of the coaching team is from Rotherham now. All the board members are from Rotherham as well. So you've got Rotherham links. Rob Scott, Douglas, Tony Stewart, this new guy is mates with Tony Stewart. They've all got Rotherham links. It's a football club, not a flipping youth club or bloody Rotherham flipping Park Gate meeting. Do you know what I mean? Get proper football people in. We're becoming like a racist thing. Do you know what I mean? No outsiders in. It's only Rotherham people in this club. If you're not from Rotherham, you're not coming in. Be one of them. Soon they'll be checking you. Were you born in Rotherham? You're not allowed in. Not allowed in, guys. Do you know what I mean? We've got to stop. We've got to protest. We've got to get the owner to see that we're not happy with this football. We're not happy with how our club's been run. And that's it. But there's too many happy clappers. If this were, now there would be protests in charge. If it was Steve Evans as manager and this were happening under Steve Evans, there'd be protests. People would be going crazy. But because it's Matt Hamshaw from Rotherham, everybody's keeping quiet. And Phil Smith is mates with Matt Hamshaw's dad. So he's not going to say a bad word against Matt Hamshaw. They're mates. It's a joke.
And I suppose that
we need protests, big protests.
Okay, and they are then. So that's for all those Rotherham fans who are listening to this, that is your rallying call. And I'm sure if there is a group of fans out there who are going to do this man to my left-hand side, he will walk with you in the protest. Is that right, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what we'll do then, let's read the rest of these comments and then we will leave it there. Bit of a stranger podcast today. Obviously, when we lose every week and we're repeating ourselves every week, it's quite difficult. Russ, Emlyn uses 1982 icons, the good old days. I'm blessed with talent and cope with the second tier. Take us back. Yeah, I'd love that as well, although I weren't born then. Romoff, a message to Miller's man. Only way Harry takes anyway is if he's here long enough to learn how to be an actual manager, and that's going to take years. Sam, rebuild again, this time in League Two. Yeah, and I think that's a bit of a what Lee keeps saying about rebuilding, a bit of a sarcastic comment. He couldn't learn to be a manager if we gave him time Millennium's season. Yeah, I think you're right there. John, the teams in League Two are spending big money on wages. I don't think we have the clout to out-compete other teams. We'd be down there for 3 seasons or so. And to be fair, John, Rotherham's recent history, when they have gone down to League One, would suggest you're right, because the last 2 times they've gone down to League Two, so not League One, they have spent at least 3 seasons getting out of it. And the last time, I think it was like 5 seasons. So, yeah, you're right there.
You look at MK Dons, they've got a higher wage bill than us this season, and they're in League Two.
Yeah. Romoff, 2 South Clough myths are who would buy us, who would come here and manage us. And Romoff, completely agree. I don't like that when people say that. Miller's Mad, only thing that was looking good about League Two, was York away, and they look like they are bottling it. Yeah, I wouldn't, just on York quickly, that title race will go right down to the wire. And for those of you that don't know, the last game of the season is Rochdale v York. So just keep that out for that. I think York might still do it. They only lost the other day because they went down to 10 men. Tom Brown, take their medication. I think he's responding to something that we've said earlier. Jordan, I agree there. Rather the fans voice their opinions and something gets done before things get worse and worse. And yeah, I think the thing is, obviously, I think Lee, he's mentioned this before about protesting, and I'm sure Lee would want to do it himself, but because our fan base don't like him, he's probably not got a lot of support behind him. So we need someone else really to do it. And I'm telling you now, the people on this podcast would follow whoever leads us into, if you like, a sat the board kind of mentality. Danny, we need a serious conversation with whoever gave Hammy's coaching badges blood on their hands. Actually, I would say, Danny, I think it's quite easy these days to get your coaching badges, and I think the proof is in the pudding. If Hamshaw's got it, I'm pretty sure my son, who's 7-year-old, could probably get it already. Right.
Just quickly regarding protest, I don't care about the people that don't like me. I will still protest, and then I can give them people that don't like me. They can come to my actual face, and then they'll get slapped up. How about that?
Okay. The reason I mentioned it, though, is more to do with, because there'll be fans on here saying, Lee, why don't you start the protest?
Yeah, so, I mean, people have sort of messaged me before trying to get a protest started. And I said, I'm absolutely happy to be behind it, but it's got to be the majority of the fan base. And I still don't think the majority of the fan base think it's bad enough.
Okay.
They're living like something somewhere else. I don't get it. I think some of them still think it's not that bad. You know what I mean?
And what I would say, so what I would say, what I would say to that, obviously go on, Lee, sorry.
Would you two protest?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Well, what I'm going to suggest, Lee, is obviously we get an average of 2,000-3,000 now who watches these podcasts on average, right? Now, anyone who watches this or listens to this, if you are in agreement with Lee and myself and Pete in terms of the protest is the right way to go, then I think you should message you, Lee, because like you said, you obviously think, and you just said it, that the reason why you're not going to start a protest is because you've not got enough fans who agree a protest is needed. So I now want all these fans to almost inundate you with messages saying, no, Lee, I'm with you. No, Lee, I agree with you. So anyone who listens to this, I want you to message Lee, because Lee, if Lee gets enough messages, I'm sure, am I right, Lee? I'm sure you would be happy to lead a protest. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, it wants to. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for anything like that. A peaceful protest against the ownership and the fact that we've still got this manager. So it's sack the board and sack the manager. For me, they've all got to go. They're all complicit in this horrendous season in our centenary year. Yeah, if you're upset like we are, and it's affected your mental health, and it's affected you, whether you want to go and watch the club anymore, and you feel like you're not being listened to off the club, because that's how I feel.
Exactly. Same,
I feel like the club are laughing at us and they're mocking us by putting memes out of corner flags when there was at Bradford, and I feel like we're all being taken a mug of. They've got the fans' money from season tickets, and it's a big F off to us all. We're not interested in anything you've got to say. But absolutely, I would do a protest because I can't watch this manager's football anymore. It is just, he's the worst manager I have ever watched. And I've been around to watch Danny Bergara, and his football were bad, but not as bad as this. This is worse. This is worse because we've got better players. This makes it worse because you can see there's quality players in that squad that have been mismanaged. And you can see players now are starting to turn, especially Sam Nombe. He's had enough. He's had enough of that, I'm sure.
And there you go. So get your messages in, and just quickly there, Russ, he's in already. Bless him. It's first one there, Lee. Just last couple of messages. We've got Danny. Danny thinks generally the people who hate Lee are the ones who don't actually want the best for the club, or they're too naive to say. And I'd agree with that, to be honest, Danny. I've already read that one. Scott Kent, the club's not got the ball stuck, I'm sure, lads, just like the squad's not got the ball stay up. Wayne Hill, you're going to do that one. Got positive, I'm going for a 2-0 win. You're right, Wayne, just can't see it though. Russ is in.
Wayne is always positive. He's always positive. I mean, I hope we win 2-0. But
just put that last message on, please, Lee, for Tom. Hi, Lee. Love, not that one. The one above it. Sorry. Hi, Lee. Love from Violet. There you go. Tom's daughter is obviously sad for you, Lee, and she's sending her love to you. There you go. How sweet is that? Right. Just before we go, Pete, I want to end on you, because obviously I spoke with Lee quite a lot. Would you be interested in joining a sack the board kind of siege or not?
I don't know. I lost interest, to be honest, so I'd probably turn up, I'd probably turn up. Something to do in it, and I'd watch that.
Better than watching the football. We'll get some tennis balls or something.
I'd probably turn up.
What I would say, Lee, because I know your idea there was around maybe going to the stadium and singing Sack the Board or Sack the Manager or whatever, but I actually think something like not entering the game until 11 minutes or 9 minutes or whatever it is, I think that's quite a powerful message, and that's something that I'd want to do. Anyway, last message. Realm of Nombe looks more and more messed up every game. We need someone to make posters doing the protest, and I agree with that, Realm of. But as I've said, we need people to show that they're wanting to do this. Tom, she's on my iPad, is she? Oh, so she's written that, actually, Tom. Right, we're leaving it there. So, first of all, Lee, I know it's difficult. I could see there you were really struggling. Obviously, it is affecting you, but I do appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate giving your thoughts as always. So, thanks. Pete, again, very similar. I know it's hard watching him. I know it's hard having to talk about them 2-3 times a week, but really do appreciate you coming on. And again, everyone in the comments, really, I do appreciate you watching. As I said, we are getting an average like 2,000 or 3,000 views, which is excellent, really, for a channel that's only started, 8 months ago. That's brilliant. Last message then, Billy Almond. apart from that penalty on base score, he's done nothing at all. His work ethic is low at the minute. Should have got the money for him in January, agree. And Wayne Earl is in. Brilliant, Wayne. So, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And one thing I'm going to mention quickly is we are going to be running a competition. Now, the details of the competition will be next week on one of the videos. It won't be on the Rotherham video. It'll be on our new Football League Championship or League One, and League One preview shows. They start tomorrow, so make sure you're on the channel for 11, 12 o'clock, and both the Championship and the League One preview video will be live. The competition I'll discuss in more details next week, but you've got a chance to win a voucher for your football club. Now, I know you don't want to win it for Rotherham because they're rubbish, but it's out there for all clubs, not just Rotherham. Okay, so everyone, thank you. And once again, up the Millers. Cheers.
Cheers.
End it, week. So I can't end it. Cheers.